Hello again, Mindset Recovery friends. Just wanted to share with you the results of my experiment. If you can see that 141. So, my blood glucose level has gone down in an hour, but nothing drastic. So, I can't even say that it was impacted by the okra water. So, I'm probably going to continue to try it because I bought some okra and we'll see if maybe over time it's a good thing to add to my morning ritual to lower it, to keep it lower over time. Because I'm always looking for something natural to help me with that. About 5 years ago, I had a stroke. When I got out of the hospital, my A1C was over 9, and my doctor wanted to put me on insulin. And so, first of all, I'm not a doctor. I had said something about insulin. What I've seen is that you stop burning fat when insulin is introduced into your body. So that's what I meant by saying that you stop losing weight. And so another thing is, so that sounds to me like, if you're going to be on insulin and that's going to be how you control your A1C, then you're not going to be burning fat while you got the insulin in your body. So that's not going to help you lose weight, which for me is my understanding that losing weight is really the best way to lower your A1C. And so that's why I did some research on it, and intermittent fasting was suggested to me. Nothing crazy. I'm not fasting for 40 days and 40 nights or anything. My goal is to fast Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Um, in reality, what usually ends up happening is I can fast all day Monday, but then Tuesday I get hungry towards the end of the day. And so I kind of, on the days that I don't fast, I try to go for one meal a day. And like I said, carnivore diet, because carbs for me, I mean, I know people have different kind of bodies, but especially with my glucose monitor, I found that carbs just totally spike my A1, my blood glucose. And since I got this glucose monitor 3 months ago, it crept back up. I got it down, like I said, it was at 9. I got it down below 7. Uh, I didn't have a glucose monitor. I hate the finger sticks, so I just quit using it because I had it under control. It was running around 100 in the morning, which is perfect. So then I went back and got my A1C done recently, which is, like I said, 5 years, and it crept back up to 8.3. So my doctor was talking about putting me on some insulin again, or some other, the GLP, whatever they call it. I've researched the things like Ozempic and those kinds of things, and people are having a lot of side effects from them. Gastrointestinal side effects and stuff, and long term, they're finding out that they're not great. You lose weight, but in my experience, most of the people I know that lost weight, it was because their stomach hurt and they had gastrointestinal issues, and so they weren't eating. So what I hear that as, they're fasting because they can't help it. And so, I worked my way up to fasting. I started eating an hour later, pushing my breakfast off until I could eat my breakfast afternoon. And then just, I had a feeding window of, like, I don't know. There's lots of stuff on this platform that you can look up. But I got down to, one meal a day pretty much on the days that I didn't fast, and trying to fast completely for my goal, 72 hours. I've heard that's really the sweet spot for fasting. But like I said, I had lowered it down, from over 9 to under 7, which is, that's what doctors are looking for, under 7. The doctor that I follow says that, under 6 is good. He's a doctor, I'm not. But Anyway, I've added berberine. I heard good things about berberine. I've added that into my regimen. Um, and so I lowered it in the 3 months from when it went up to 8.3. I lowered it down below 7 again. And, my doctor was pleased as punch because I always tell her, she says drastic dietary measures or medication. Well, that's a no brainer for me because, like I said, I don't like pharmaceuticals if I don't have to take them. So anyway, it may or may not be helpful. Nothing majorly impactive. What I was told by one person is that it stabilizes your sugar immediately. Well, that hasn't been the case for me today. So another thing I was happy about is I hate okra. I moved to the South in like 95, and people eat okra down here. I think okra is nasty. It's slimy. Boiled okra just looks like it's got mucus, and I don't know why people like it. I've seen people cook it with tomatoes. Maybe that, boil it with tomatoes or whatever. Maybe that takes away some of the sliminess. Mostly fried okra is a popular one. I can't really see how that can be beneficial. Maybe it can. I don't know. But what I was happy about was when I drank the okra water. I mean, I could see the slime because you're supposed to squeeze the pods before you drink the water and get all of the slime out of them. And I'm guessing that the slime is really supposed to be the element that lowers your blood sugar. I researched it online and they said it's high in fiber, which I don't really see how you're getting fiber if you're not eating the actual pods. And it's really high in a lot of vitamins and potassium and stuff. So it's healthy for you if you like it and it's in your diet. I can't see where it would hurt. It's definitely part of a keto diet. I don't have a problem with a keto diet. I eat vegetables if I want to, as long as they're not starchy ones like cauliflower and potatoes. It doesn't work for me, spikes me right away. Bread is not my friend. So removing alcohol from my diet early on, that helped a lot. Um, but anyway, I'm just using methods that I've researched on this platform. And if you slowly ease into the fasting thing, when I tell people that I fast and they're like, you don't eat anything at all day, first of all, they're shocked. And then they're like, that can't be good for you. Well, I'm not a, anthropologist or anything, but I know they didn't have grocery stores, 500 years ago and 1,000 years ago. And so basically, humans were like hunters and they kill an animal and then they would like chow down and eat the whole thing. And then, with their families or whatever. I don't think one guy ate a whole lion or whatever it was he killed, but then, they're going to go, it's going to take them several days to find another big old meat source. So then they're going to do the same thing. They're going to chow down. They're going to probably take a nap. They had a lot of exercise in their diet, in their lifestyle, eat a lot of meat. And if they had all died from that, we wouldn't be around. And so you can even look it up, do a search for it online about carbs. People seem to think you have to have carbs in your diet, but that's what we've been taught. And so I actually used a search platform that's owned by the company that owns this platform. And it says, no, you do not need carbs in your diet, which I had doctors tell me. So I already knew that. But then the food pyramid, that's like the most important thing. They want you to eat a bunch of carbs, which spike my glucose levels. That, despite popular opinion, uh, you know, eating a lot of carbs actually is increases your triglycerides in your blood. People would think that that would be from eating saturated fats like meats and butter and stuff, but the carnivore diet shows that that's not the case. actually your triglycerides go down, and that's what puts people at risk for heart attacks. And this is all stuff that I've learned from doctors and, podcasts and stuff. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but for me, when I eat a carnivore or ketovore diet, I lose weight, my blood sugar and my blood pressure went down, and healthier. uh you get hungry a lot faster, if because your body can either burn fat for food or it can burn carbs for food. So if your body's burning carbs for food, and let's say you eat this carb heavy breakfast of whatever, cereal and bananas, and drink some orange juice, that's going to give you a boost of energy, but it's also going to be gone quick. And so when I eat something like I ate yesterday, and that's the only thing I ate, and it was like 4 eggs and 2 pieces of bacon and some cut up sausage. I bought some kielbasa and cooked that and put cheese on it, because cheese is definitely carnivore, comes from cows. And so I ate that like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I didn't eat anything before that. A supplement, if I get hungry, I found that almonds do not spike my person. And that's why I like a blood glucose monitor, because people have different body types. But I found that if I eat, a couple handfuls of almonds, it does not spike my blood glucose. And that's my kind of go-to thing, is to try to keep my glucose steady. And the lower I can keep it, they say below 70 is, it's not supposed to be below 70. So my glucose alarm goes off if it goes below 70. But 80 to 100 is generally accepted as, what you want. And so I, did intermittent fasting and carnivore last time until my blood sugar was around 100. And then I just quit checking it for 5 years. And so it took a long time for it to creep back up. It didn't spike back up like I started eating donuts every day or cheesecake. But, I just wasn't being as vigilant about what I ate. So slowly it went back up. And now I am trying to get it under control again. So I thought this okra water, if it was a miraculous thing, like some people say, would be really nice to know. But I am planning on adding it to my daily regimen and just see how, how it affects. But anyway, so keep fighting the good fight. Have a great day. Sorry that it wasn't like a miracle cure.